This episode of iFanboy is brought to you by Graphic Audio and Click It or Ticket from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
iFanboy. I'm Connor.
I'm Ron.
And I am Josh. We're here in Seattle at the Emerald City Comic-Con.
It's the 6th annual Emerald City Comic-Con, and we're super excited to be here. It's our first time going to this convention, and I'm having a great time.
It's one of the smaller cons, so you've got more access to creators, more manageable crowds. It's really nice.
Yep. It's a little like Heroes Con, but it's in the Pacific Northwest, so it's lovely scenery as well. So there's still lots of cool people to come talk to and lots of things to see, so we need to go do that.
I'm looking to meet McDreamy.
And I'm here with Jay Faerber here in Seattle. How you doing, Jay?
I'm all right.
And you're a local, right?
I am. Yeah, this is my home turf.
Excellent.
Yep.
So I was really excited to talk to you at this convention. We kind of emailed back and forth.
Yeah.
The past year has been a really good year for you.
I think so, too. Yeah, it's been fun. We've had a lot of good books.
I thought it was really interesting because I've been reading your stuff for several years now, and I read Noble Causes, and it always was okay, but I personally thought it could be better.
Yeah.
Then last year, Dynamo 5, now back with Noble Causes, now with Gemini. This burst of kind of creativity, where's it coming from?
I don't know. My artists, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm inspired. They're all doing good work, and it's inspiring me to up my game, I guess. So.
And you've taken Noble Causes and created this kind of Faerber-verse, as everyone's been calling it. Has that always been in your mind, or is it something that's evolved?
A little bit. I mean, I'm enough of a fanboy that, I like it when characters meet each other and all that stuff, but it's got to have a limit. I don't like it when you can't read a book without reading some other book, and so I always want these things to be, to augment the reader, the reading experience, not hinder it. So, I like having characters guest star and cross over a little bit, but, each book should be separate that you can read on its own. But obviously, I'd like people to read them all. But,
and it's because I love that shared universe as well, and your books are one of the ones that I think take advantage of the image. I mean, Savage Dragon shows up Invincible.
Yeah. Yep.
And what's interesting about that is that it seems as if it happens, but like you said, you don't have to read every book. You don't necessarily need to know all the characters.
Right. Yeah, I mean, put it this way, if I didn't have access to Invincible and Savage Dragon, and I would still have other, like, kind of nameless superheroes show up in Noble Causes, because Noble Causes is supposed to be in a universe of other heroes. But the bonus is that these are other heroes that actually have their own books. But if you don't read them or have never heard of them, it doesn't matter. Yeah. The point is that there are other heroes running around, and we get to see them from time to time.
So let's just hit through them. Noble Causes is back. It's 5-year jump.
Yes.
I noticed there's a lot more action rather than the soap opera stuff.
Yeah, I mean we're trying to do both, but Yildiray is such a fantastic action artist that it's a waste to have him just solely be drawing talking heads every issue. So, I'm trying to up it and put in more action, but also keep the focus on the characters and the soap opera elements, and just kind of make a better balance between the two. And I think we're succeeding so far. It's had good response.
So the first kind of run of the issues focused on Race and Liz.
Right.
They're nowhere to be found now.
So far, right. They are. I know where they are, and I'll reveal that this year. But I don't. I want to keep them out of the picture for a little bit so that when we see what they're up to, it's a satisfying, surprise. Yeah.
And so Dynamo 5 is the book that, at least for me, is one of my best books of 2007. It really brings up the team dynamic. It almost reminds me of, like, the X-Men.
Yeah. It's got the high concept of these illegitimate kids and their half-siblings and all that, but all of that is really an excuse to do a classic superhero team with secret headquarters and communicator watches and, all that kind of stuff. And that's what I'm just having fun doing and just kind of trying to put a new angle on these old comic book staples.
And what I think is great about Dynamo 5 is they're the kids of Captain Dynamo, who we saw a little more in the recent annual that just came out. He's kind of a jerk.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a fine line. I don't want him to be a completely unlikable jackass, but he is. Yeah, he's got his faults to not to overstate it.
And so then finally, Gemini is the latest book. Can you tell us that? Because it's a pretty high concept.
Yeah, Gemini is kind of a superhero who doesn't know he's a superhero. He's a normal guy who is basically being brainwashed by some mysterious organization to be a hero. Yeah. And each time an adventure is over, they wipe his mind, and he has no memory of ever having gone on this adventure. So he's kind of has two separate personalities, the hero and the civilian, and the story is about him learning what he is and how this came to be. So it's just 5 issues for now, with a definite ending in mind.
So, and it just came out. Have you been happy with the response? Or
yeah. So far it's good, and we've got the exclusive Emerald City edition here at the show.
Nice.
With an exclusive cover. And it's moving fast so far, and it's good. It felt good to have the book come out this week, the same week of the show, and we thought, well, we should do something special since it's my home show. Right. So
cool.
So yeah, it's fun.
So you got 3 titles. I mean, I imagine there's more coming. Or
I don't
very prolific recently.
Yeah. I mean, it's just timing, I guess. I've got a book coming out of Top Cow this summer called Urban Myths. That's part of their pilot season. Yeah. That's just a one-shot so far. Hopefully it'll win their pilot season contest and become an ongoing. But no other series planned right now. Yeah. It's just this stuff. I've got my backlist a little bit. I've got Dodge's Bullets here and Firebirds and just concentrating on. I mean, it's writing 3 books is tough enough, but I'm also having to edit them and traffic them and make sure they're all put together in the right time, and so that takes up more time than I thought it would. So I don't want any more series right now.
So I was first exposed to you when you work at Marvel. Now you're kind of doing the Image thing and the Kraton thing. Do you think you'll ever go back to the big 2?
It would have to depend on. It would have to be the right character and the right editor and the right artist. I'm not going to do it just to do a fill-in issue on whatever, just to get my page rate or whatever. I really, I'm not pursuing work there, but if the right combination of stuff happened, then yeah, I'd hop on.
So it's not like the self-public, you got the entrepreneurial bug and never going to go back.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm in no great hurry to, but there are still a couple characters that I would like to play with, and if I was allowed to do what I wanted with them, then I'd consider it. So
I'm here with Lars Brown, author creator of Northworld from Oni.
Northworld, indeed.
There it is. He's quick with a hand. Can you explain very briefly what Northworld is?
Northworld is a modern-day fantasy story, so it's people like us, but we carry swords, and we would fight giant animals. And the first volume of Northworld is about Conrad, who has to return to his hometown to fight a demon at the same time as his ex-girlfriend's wedding.
I see. Now, how long do you have this planned out for? Is it a big epic tale?
Well, I've got ideas for a big epic. Let's see when we get to that. But first, Conrad's story is going to be 2 books. I'm going to do a bunch of short stories to develop this world and give people the Northworld experience.
Now, longtime iFanboy people may recognize your name and artwork slightly because you were the winner of the first iFanboy wallpaper contest. What was that like for you?
Up until that moment, everything had just been bland, and I was like, oh my! I got the email, and I was like, oh, my dreams, they've come true.
And I'm not saying that, but since then, things have kind of taken off, right?
They have. I can't deny it. It invigorated everything about my art. I drew you guys, and everything clicked. Everything came together. That's
what I'm saying. That feels about right. That's very good. So what's it like for a guy? You started doing your own comic on the web, and then it's getting published, and now you're here at a con. You've got the book in front of you. How is this? This is awesome.
This is awesome. I'm super happy. I'm ecstatic.
I like to have people come up and be like, I really like your work.
Yeah, they come up and they touch my face. I'm like, don't touch my face. Actually, it's kind of a disconnect. I have great readers. They don't, they read the comic and like it, and they let me know, but they don't complain. So
very cool.
We've been in Seattle a few days. We're starting to get acclimated to the whole environment and the culture and everything. Like, for instance, Ron here.
Hey, I love it here.
You look very much Seattle.
I'm playing bass in a band now.
Oh, awesome.
It's awesome. We're playing some gigs later on. Will you come?
I could probably make it.
Awesome.
I have to take time off because I just got a job at Starbucks. I'm assistant manager.
Right, congratulations on that.
They have benefits. It's really fantastic.
They're a great place to work.
Yeah, so when I get off work, I'll come to check out your band.
Where the hell's Josh?
Actually, Josh, I heard he had an interview with Amazon.
Right, and then he's got that one at Microsoft tomorrow, right? Yeah. So he's going a little higher than we are. But
we've really come to Seattle. We own it now.
We're
part of the scene now.
A compliment for us is a compliment for you.
I am here with Andy Kuhn, artist on various works, but you've got Fire Breather coming out, right?
Fire Breather. It's an awesome adventure series. It's about a high school age kid who's half human and half dragon, and his parents have shared custody that's overseen by the government. So 2 weeks out of the month, his mom's trying to make sure he gets his grades and stays in school, and the other 2 weeks, his dad's trying to teach him to be the king of the monsters.
This book came out a while ago. It's part of the Image universe. Does this exist in the same universe as like Invincible and everything?
It exists in that universe if we see fit. It's sort of a shared universe that's kind of like, share it if you want, don't share it if you don't want, kind of thing. So, but I think we are going to have at some point in the future we are going to have some kind of an Invincible crossover situation. So I guess they're in the same universe.
Very good. And this is ongoing from here on out.
Yes, sir. First issue comes out in a couple weeks, maybe. It's at the printers right now.
Very cool. So let me ask you. You worked on Marvel Team Up with Robert Kirkman. Young Kirkman, but when he was barely known.
I knew him when he was extremely lowercase Robert Kirkman, because he actually published a book that I did called Rex Mantooth Kung Fu Gorilla way back in the day.
I do remember this book. So I hope this isn't sensitive, but what is it about Marvel Team Up? That book can't survive.
It must be me.
I don't think so.
Actually, when I got hired, they knew they were going to cancel it already. Okay. I got hired. They said, "Do you want to do the last 6 issues?" And I really don't know. I had a great time, and it was a cool book. I think the problem with any kind of book like that doesn't have like a main character going through every issue is that people sort of don't know what to grab onto as far as an ongoing thread, I guess.
Yeah, that makes. I mean, the thing about that book that I thought is it continually surprised me, where you would introduce Freedom Ring, and then really mess him up.
Yeah,
I mean, what was your direction on that? Was just
that was all Robert. He basically just had this idea of this character who would be, get these superpowers, and then just sort of, the opposite of what always happens in comics is they get the superpowers and they learn how to use them and they fight crime. He was going to try and learn how to use them and just get his ass kicked. So, I mean, that's all Robert.
Yeah.
You'd have to ask him about that. But I had a great time drawing it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and good luck with Fire Breather going forward.
Good luck with your show, sir.
I need it,
I'm
thank
sure
you.
It's going to be huge with Big Daddy on it.
That's what you call yourself at home?
No, never.
Just now?
Just on your show.
Just to me?
Just on iFanboy.
It's getting weird for me. I'm going to go.
Sorry.
Hey, we're going to take a minute to talk to you about our sponsor, Graphic Audio.
Graphic Audio is a great, innovative kind of audiobooks provider. They've got CDs, MP3s, WMAs. You can download them. They've got tons of titles. They've got over 300 action, adventure, and science fiction titles. A lot for comics fans.
Yep, their newest release is Justice League Exterminators, and previously they did Infinite Crisis and had a 52 release.
Yeah, so if you want to check out Graphic Audio, head over to graphicaudio.net and use the coupon code iFanboy and get 40% off your first purchase, which is pretty cool. So
graphicaudio.net.
Doing this now? How's this working out?
We're shooting.
You're shooting
We're
now?
good to go.
This is good? You doing it? You doing it now?
We are here with Robert Kirkman, or Big Daddy as I like to call him.
You better call me that.
That's right. And Ryan Ottley, who's had such a line, you can't even stop drawing.
Can't even break away.
True, yes.
Can't even break away for iFanboy.
No,
nice
I
job.
can't. I'm sorry. Work calls.
That's ethic right there. So you've had like the biggest line I've seen here the entire time on an independent superhero book. Is that?
Are you qualifying that? Is it
I am. I've
on
seen
an independent superhero book.
I'm saying
the biggest line.
You're kicking ass with a book that isn't Marvel, and that is commendable.
That's
or
true.
DC.
Well, thank you. It's a very good book.
It is a very good book. You've got issue 50 coming up.
Issue 50 has been coming out for a while. We're late, and we're trying to remedy that.
How's that possible with you drawing all the time?
Yeah, what's going on?
All these sketches.
Vacation. Go.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, issue 50 is done. Issue 51 is done. By the time issue 50 ships, I think 52 and 53 will be done. So while we have had a very large gap between 49 and 50, which, if only we could go back in time and remedy that, whatever. What's done is done. But hopefully, going forward, we should be all right. Thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate that. We'll keep going through the announcement.
It's what we do. No, all week with this.
Yeah, I know. Can they hear when it's on the
Yeah,
announcement?
yeah.
Is it going to be good?
It's totally
Can
fine.
you guys hear? Okay, they can hear. That's good. What?
So you got paradigm shift coming up then in 50. Things are going to change.
Yeah, things are going to change.
Can you tell us a little about what's going to happen?
We got a costume change. We got a working relationship change. Invincible's been working for the government up until now, doing government work, going and fighting the bad guys that they tell him to fight, or that they tell him to fight, and that's going to be changing here soon. So it's going to be a new book. It's going to be exciting. Don't talk to him. It's going to be great. We're going to do. I'm kidding.
We always talk. You've been on the show. You're like our Steve Martin, or Alec Baldwin. Saturday
I like
Night.
that. That's
yeah,
good.
that's fine.
Good.
That works.
It's nice. Go.
You don't like Steve Martin?
I like Steve Martin. He's all right.
All right, that's cool. So are you excited to be able to draw a little bit different costume and just have it change up a little after all these issues?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's
fun.
cool?
He's telling me yes. I need to say yes. No, I do enjoy it. It's cool. It's a cool costume change, and there's more spotted blacks I have to do with it, and so, yeah, it's cool.
Is he intimidating? Is that what's happening?
Oh, no, I could totally take him easily.
I just let this play
I
out.
think we should find out right now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm not going to do that.
No, it's not going to
I
happen.
gotta take this cord and
Strangle me with it.
So let me ask you, are you getting calls constantly from Marvel and DC trying to take you away from this property now?
No.
No? You wouldn't leave for any reason?
No.
Because
No,
I'm looking at your work. I'm just thinking, and he's yeah.
No, I wouldn't leave. Seriously, I love this stuff.
So how much longer do we have to go with this book? Are we planned out for a long time, or is it just to infinity?
53 is the last issue.
Because of some incidents at this particular
yes,
convention.
Yes. No, I mean, I don't know, Ryan. How long is it going to go? I'm in it for the long haul. What about you?
Yeah, dude. I love this stuff. Yes, I'm in it. Long haul.
Right.
You and me.
It's on record.
It's there.
No, yeah, I mean, I think we're both having a lot of fun. Let's be serious here. It's a fun book. It's doing well. We like it. I don't know. I could see it going for thousands of issues. So, thousands, right? Thousands.
Maybe a fill-in sometime. Maybe.
No.
No. Okay.
Have you got him under contract?
No,
Is it something?
I don't. I should. You want to sign a contract?
Yeah. Lifetime contract. Sure.
I'm feeling like there's a lot of subtext going on right now.
Sorry.
That I don't know anything
Ryan's
about.
actually leaving the book with it. No, I'm kidding. He's not. I haven't told him yet, so.
Oh, you lined somebody up?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. We'd enjoyed your work up to now.
Well, thank you.
All right. I think, is there anything else that you'd like to... You've got a billion books going on.
Yeah,
you just finished up Ultimate X-Men.
Just finished up Ultimate X-Men. 93 is my last issue. I'm very excited to see what's coming up next because I don't have to write it. That's good. I don't know. I like that book. I was reading it before I started writing it, and now it's like, I can start reading it again. This will be kind of cool. So that's exciting for me.
And Kill Raven.
Kill Raven by Rob Liefeld. Punching and kicking. It's going to be awesome. It's it's a different reality. It's Kill Raven in the future, finding everyone's favorite artifacts from the Marvel universe. We got Cap's shield showing up, Thor's hammer. We got Hawkeye's bow. We got Thanos' underwear. It's going to be pretty awesome. There's all kinds of cool stuff going on. I mean, it's really going to be a cool book. I'm very excited about it. So yeah, that's coming up. And then I got Destroyer Max coming up with Corey Walker on art. That's going to be a Max book. It's going to have all kinds of blood and guts. That's going to be exciting. I got the Astounding Wolfman going on at Image.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah. I edit a series called Brit that comes out from Image on a fairly regular basis. So, got a lot going on. That book called The Walking Dead. Did I mention Walking Dead?
I may have heard of it. It's the Frankenstein vampire, something like that.
Yeah, I do stuff. I ghostwrite Captain America for Ed Brubaker. I'm actually doing a third of the pages that are appearing in Secret Invasion right now. So
Are you going to start taking on co-writers? Because that's the new thing.
That's the new thing, co-writers. Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm too. I like seeing my name in print, and having another guy up there would just make me angry. So no co-writers.
Well, I think we can talk to you on.
I'll do
Sure.
ghostwriters all day long. If they're not taking a credit, they can write whatever they want for me. But the credit thing, that's really the thing that bugs me.
All right. I can't imagine we've got anything left to talk to you about.
How are you doing? You doing all right?
I'm good.
How's the show doing?
Good.
Good?
It's a good show. I'm proud of it.
It's good. I like watching it. It's enjoyable.
So would you say it's the best show?
It's pretty good.
That's the best I can get. It's non-committal.
It's pretty good. I do other shows, and they're probably going to watch this. It's by far the best. Those other guys, woo. But no, it's good. I'm glad it's going well for you. You guys have actual stuff.
Oh yeah.
Other people don't have this. What is that? That's all this is not a sticker. It's not paper. It's actually printed. It's a plastic thing. I mean,
it's vinyl.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
We work in plastics at iFanboy.
It's very impressive.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your show.
I've had a great show.
Thanks
Emerald
for talking
City.
to us again.
Fantastic.
And wow, you finished another drawing in the time and colored it. Where's issue 50?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah. Dark Seed there. Dark Side. Is
that from your new book? What you doing?
Yes.
He's drawing issues. He's drawing the last issues of Final Crisis.
Yeah.
They announced
Everyone's drawing those issues.
Yeah,
What's
fine.
going on?
Bathrooms are really clean here. I don't know what it is about the Pacific Northwest or Seattle, but the other places are wastelands. It's very nice in there.
All right, so I'm here with the great Matt Wagner. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing well.
Enjoying the Emerald City Con?
Sure.
Yeah,
I
people?
just live in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, so it's just a hop skip.
Semi-local. Yeah.
So you're coming off of the 20th anniversary of Grendel last year into this year. How was that whole experience for you?
It was terrific, and it was the 25th.
25th. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm older than I look.
Yeah. So
it was great. You know, we had a lot of. We launched this new series, Behold the Devil.
Yep.
It has 2 more issues to come out.
Yep.
And of course, we did the big coffee table Art of Grendel book, which turned out fabulous. And we have some other stuff in gear for this year that'll just continue the whole PR blitz. So
how has the reception to the latest ongoing series been?
Oh, it's been terrific.
Yeah.
Well, it went back to the original Grendel, Hunter Rose, and I'm writing and drawing it. Right. So, and it's been unlike the first Hunter Rose story, which was Devil by the Deed, which was told almost as an illustrated novel with a very designy approach with blocks of text. This is more of a traditional comic book story, so I got to open it up a little broader.
Right.
And so we get to see more of Hunter Rose just being his badass self and doing his thing, and a lot of stuff that's only implied in the first book, right, you got to actually see come to fruition in this book. So,
cool. Yeah, Grendel's one of those characters who has got such a loyal fan base, and it's great to see a lot of the archive material come out and a lot of the previous stuff.
Yep.
I mean, 25 years is a long run. Is it kind of, how does it feel to have a book that's had such a solid point in the comics industry and a fan base kind of? Does it?
It feels great. Yeah, I mean,
you always got a huge line, and
yeah, and I. One of the keys to that success is I decided early on to adopt this theory of continually reinventing the character. You know, that was the only way I could see to keep it fresh for myself. And I've always figured that if it's not fresh for me, it's not going to be fresh for the readers. You know, so as a result of that, it's continually open, and I never seem to run out of ideas for it. You know, it's always something new, and that really is great.
So what's in store for the character after the current ongoing? Are you going to take a break or get another?
The next storyline will actually be concerning Grendel Prime, which is the Grendel in the future. Yep. So, we're bopping back and forth and just kind of keep things
everybody guessing.
Unexpected, yeah. Yep.
You find me a bald-headed creator, and I will interview them.
That's your thing.
That's how I roll.
That's what you're known for, really.
Yeah,
it's Connor, bald-headed creator, interviewer, Kilpatrick.
Yeah, it's my livelihood. It's how I get food on the table. You find me a guy with a shaved pat, I'll do it.
Well, we wanted you to do an interview with that guy, but he had a full head of hair.
And he wouldn't shave.
You said, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, and he would actually cut it.
Yep.
Gave him a razor. So.
Click It or Ticket is an aggressive seatbelt enforcement mobilization that will run from May 19th through June 1st, 2008 across the country. Thousands of enforcement agencies are participating in this campaign to increase seatbelt use and reduce fatalities across the nation. The goal is simple: to save more lives by convincing both drivers and passengers day and night to always buckle up. So unless you want to risk a ticket or worse, your life, you need to always remember to click it or ticket day and night.
I'm here with Bryan Lee O'Malley, creator of the Scott Pilgrim series.
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir. So you kind of blew up. It's kind of a big deal now.
That's news to me. Yeah. Yes, apparently.
So the one thing that I thought was interesting when the 4th volume that came out this past November, people were rushing to the comic book store, and it reminded me of the rush for Harry Potter books.
Not quite, but yeah, they kind of were. But I heard a lot of stores sold out and stuff. So bad move, stores.
Yeah,
get more next time.
All right, so one of the challenges we have is describing the book to people. So how would you describe Scott Pilgrim to a new reader?
I don't know. It's about a guy called Scott Pilgrim. He's 23 years old. He lives in Canada, and he has a life that is not that hard, but it's presented as difficult, and it's kind of presented as a video game. and he ends up having to fight a lot of people in order to do normal things like date a girl.
So it's a romance.
It's a romance. It's very romantic.
With some video games.
Maybe.
So have you been? I mean, have you been happy with the response to the book? I mean, it's got this huge cult following now. You know, the movie's in development. It's all kind of coming together for you.
Yes, I'm very unhappy. Yeah. You guys should stop. I was so much happier when I was all alone, and no one was reading my books. It's great. Yeah. I'm very happy. I must say.
So the one thing is that it seems the time in between the volumes, and getting them out, working on them. About how much time do you put in actually the creation of the book? I mean, do you write a full script and then draw the pages, and from there the same typical process, or are you just going page by page?
I write a script, and I'm currently working on the 5th book. I just finished the script, so I haven't started drawing yet. Which I don't start drawing until I finish the script, which takes a long time. So. It's generally the script takes a long time, and then the drawing takes a long time too.
Right.
It all takes a long time. No one understands. No one understands.
No, I think we understand.
No, you don't.
No?
You can never understand.
So a lot of Scott Pilgrim, the main character, and his friends are kind of early 20s. It seems very, very relatable. Or a lot of the characters is there almost an autobiographical tinge to it? I mean, are they people you know, or how much do you pull from your life for the book?
There's a little bit. I've aged in the last 4 or 5 years, but Scott Pilgrim hasn't. But it was definitely something that came out of my early 20s, for sure.
Yeah.
Real life.
And so do your friends read the book? Do they are there moments that they're like, hey, this happened, or?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it all spins off into its own thing, and it's got fantasy elements. I don't know if you've heard.
I have noticed.
But yeah, it's there's definitely some recognizable people in there, character traits and stuff.
And so the video game stuff and the fantasy aspect and stuff like that, when you first started doing the book, did a lot of people have a hard time accepting that or getting it, or was it just the one thing that people went with it?
They still do, some people, some of them, the bad ones. Some people can't get past that, and that's fine. That's their prerogative.
Yeah.
It was just something that I wanted to get out of my system, I guess.
Right.
That old obsession with video games and comic books and all the nerdy stuff that people like.
Yeah.
Nerds like.
Yeah. So are you still as obsessed with video games now, or several years later?
I'm not as obsessed. Yeah. I kind of stopped being obsessed with video games once they turned into like 3D and stuff.
Right.
Because I was kind of like an old school guy. But
the pixely ones.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff. I'm really hoping to play Grand Theft Auto one day when I'm done a book.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed right now.
So there are going to be 7 books total in the series. Is that the plan?
No.
6?
6.
6. All right.
Yes. Yeah, I'm on the second last one right now.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting.
Yeah. So how is it still as exciting as it was when you were doing the first one, or are you more kind of just you kind of see the end in sight and you want to move on, or?
It's a little bit of both. It's still, but I'm still really excited about the story and the characters and all that, and bringing it all together because it's all sort of one big arc.
Right. So what has been your favorite kind of thing that's come from doing the book, from like experience or?
Well, all this movie stuff that's going on has definitely been cool. Like, I get to meet some interesting people and, talented people that share an interest in the same things, and it's really cool. It's really encouraging.
Is that a trip to see movie people get their hands on your characters and hear what they're...
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be really weird. I mean, if it happens, seeing them dressed up as my characters is going to really blow my mind, I think.
Right.
I might die.
Well, the Michael Cera news that he was cast as Scott Pilgrim, we're huge Michael Cera fans. Was that when you were thinking Scott Pilgrim in real life, where you're like, oh yeah, it could be him?
Well, when I first wrote the books, he was 12.
Right. Well, true, right. But looking at it now, does it make sense?
Yeah, no, I definitely like him, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with it.
Yeah. Are they going to work in the I don't know how much you can tell us, but are they going to work in the video game stuff? Or
for sure, yeah. It's all, part and parcel.
Here with writer Greg Rucka, prolific writer Greg Rucka. How are you?
I'm okay.
You just had a Queen and Country Definitive Edition come out a few weeks ago from the collection. Rereading it made me miss it all the more. When are we going to get some more of that?
Oh, dude. Let's see. Where are we now? It's May of 2008. I would expect early 2010.
Okay.
I want to do the next Declassified's got to come out first, and that's going to be the Chase Declassified. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to follow that up with Series 2. But part of the problem with Series 2 is that Nicola Scott promised me she'd draw the first arc.
Oh, wow.
Except she's exclusive to DC right now. And every time I start to reach out and go I'll get Nicola to do that, Gail Simone's gone, no, mine! So I can't get her.
So are you going to jump it forward in time, or is it just going to go?
Yeah, it's time will have passed. And, the idea in breaking it, there were a couple reasons for it. One of the least, not the least of which being was that the series is so contingent on the real world.
Yeah.
but the problem is that there's a lag between, the world doesn't stop between issues. Right. So Chase needed to age, but obviously couldn't age properly, because otherwise you get a hero who goes from, mid-20s to 40 like that, and realism has to follow story. So part of the object in stopping and then starting a second series is to sort of make a clean break with the past, with that first series, and then set up a new status quo. And the status quo in the second series is going to be very different. Now, you can tell I've got all this stuff in my head. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I just.
So is there any interest in writing any more novels like you had for the first two?
You're asking all the good ones. I'm finishing up the new Kodiak now, right, which should be out summer '09. Mm-hmm. I suspect, though, I'm not 100% committed to that the novel I follow this next one with will be the next QNC novel.
You're going to have to. It's going to make your brain explode with all the stories if you don't get them out.
It's funny because I know what the story would be for the novel, and it's sort of the bridging story.
Right.
So, we'll see. A lot of it depends actually on research. If I can get to China, I'll probably write it.
We talked to Steve Lieber last year in the same vein for Whiteout. He said he might be working on another one, and he was excited about the movie. He just visited the set.
Yeah.
Have you been to the set?
Yeah. Steve and I were up there together, actually.
Is it? I mean, was it exciting to see?
Can I swear?
You can fucking absolutely swear.
It was a mindfuck. It's a very strange thing to walk around a soundstage in Montreal and see people looking like Steve Lieber drawings on sets that look like Steve Lieber drawings, but are real.
Right.
The first time I saw Beckinsale as Carrie, right, and I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, she's too pretty to be Carrie," and I don't know how to put this so that people don't get the wrong idea. Kate Beckinsale is hands down one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Like, literally walked in, saw her coming off set, and was like, and painfully pretty, and yet painfully pretty coming off set in costume as Carrie with the wig and everything. And looks like Carrie.
She's an actress. I mean, they do.
But it was remarkable how much she actually looked like the character that Steve drew. So, I mean, the story is the story that it needs to be for a movie.
Right.
You couldn't film Whiteout. If you took the 4 issues that we did and said, oh, that's shot for shot, you'd have 1, a short film, and 2, a really bad one. I mean, it would suck. Because the comic is able to work in ways that film can't.
They're a different medium.
Yeah, and I get really annoyed when people don't acknowledge that. So, the movie will be out, they say, in September. I don't have a hard release date yet. The last time I talked to anybody involved on that end, they were really, really happy with the cut.
That's good.
They were really excited about it. I suspect around San Diego we're going to start seeing publicity.
So will this lead into more Whiteout?
Well, Steve's just about finished drawing the first issue of Whiteout Night, which is our third and last Whiteout. Our attitude on the subject was always, we used to joke and say, well, we'll do the third one if they make the movie. And they decided to go ahead and make the movie, and all of a sudden Steve and I were like, well, shit. So we always knew that we had a last story. And our joke for it was that we would always show, like, one of those industrial galvanized coffins, with like the heavy rivet handles, and the slug would be Carrie's leaving the ice. The only question is how. So we always knew it would be our last story.
Cool, and now you have Stumptown coming out from Oni.
Yeah, with Matthew Southworth, who's doing a phenomenal job on art.
Can you tell the people what it's going to be about?
Yeah, it's a PI series. It's I look, when I was a kid, this is where everybody was like watching this is like, oh my god, I thought I was a geek. I was a different stripe of geek,
right,
where everybody else was going, oh, comic books on the floor. I would sprint home from school, and if I can make it, if it was a good day, if I made it, like in 3rd, 4th grade, if I ran and I was fast, I would get home just as the answering machine at the beginning of the Rockford Files would pick up.
It's a great show.
But I had to get there for the machine, you see.
Right, yeah.
And if I timed it right, I would hit the TV just in time to hear, "It's Jim Rockford at the tone, leave your name and message, I'll get back to you." And that's what this is. Stumptown is, I cut my teeth before I was in comics. I was a PI writer.
Right.
And a lot of people still think of me as a PI writer. I love the genre. I think it is a uniquely American genre.
The rumpled detective who...
Well, and the knight errant. I mean, that's what these stories are, And, I was going to write my dissertation in college on Raymond Chandler, for God's sake. So, this is what it is. It's just my take on the Rockford Files. If you were to do a show like Rockford, except for 2008, and it doesn't have gimmicks, it doesn't have gags. It's not like, oh, he's an obsessive-compulsive detective who can see dead people but only eats raw fish. No.
Just a PI.
It's just a PI. It's just a PI who gets beat up, sometimes gets things right, sometimes beats people up in return. But in that long-standing tradition of Rockford never came out ahead, but he always landed on his feet.
Came out even.
Yeah, that's what this is.
We don't have a lot of those. And I think about it, we don't have a lot of just standard PI stories.
No, they're gone now. There used to be, we had Rockford, and then Rockford begat Magnum and Simon and Simon, and then it just sort of stopped.
Man, you must watch Sleuth TV a lot.
No, I don't.
Because they run all those shows.
I know, but they edit them.
Yeah.
They cut them out So I told you I'm a geek. I have them on DVD.
I know if I'm up at late and Rockford comes on and Sleuth at like 2 in the morning, I'm not going to bed till 3. I know.
But the problem is they cut the hell out of it. So no, I've got all 5 seasons now that they've released, and I've been watching them over and sort of like that. But it's funny. Matthew and I have talked about. We'll probably do this around issue 7 or issue 8. We're going to do the car chase.
Oh, nice.
We're going to do a 30-page car chase. It'll be like, the first 4 pages will be them, quick, get in the car! And they'll get in the car, and then the rest of the issues going to be us trying to figure out how you do a good car chase in a comic.
Wow.
Because you shouldn't be able to do it.
He must like to draw cars.
I'm not sure he likes to draw cars.
A lot of writers don't like to draw cars.
I'm not sure he likes to draw cars as much as he's excited at the challenge of this.
So is this going to be ongoing, or is there an ending to it?
Yeah, it's an ongoing. We're going to do it in, each story arc is 4 issues. Mm-hmm. Each issue is 30 pages. It's in color. And the plan is to do 4 on, 4 off, 4 on, 4 off, so that starting in September, you'll get the first 4 issues, issue 1 in September. When issue 4 comes out, we'll take 4 months off, and then you'll get issues 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And now the other end of the spectrum, you have a Final Crisis book coming out.
8, not 9.
9 books?
Me not good at numbers.
You got
Me write words.
That's all right. You got a Final Crisis book.
Yeah, Final Crisis Revelation.
Which is the opposite end of the Oni whiteout Queen of Country spectrum.
Yeah, well, you can't really write stuff with the Spectre in it for Oni. Philip Tan's drawing that.
Yeah.
August, 5 issues, 30 pages each. Starting to sound familiar. It's one of the Final Crisis tie-ins.
Yeah.
It basically came about with Dan and Grant asking me, could you do street level?
Right.
And I said no. Actually, it doesn't sustain. You can't get a mini out of that.
Yeah.
And we started talking about it some more, and then we kind of went over to Spectre and kind of looked at it and were like, well, let's see if there's a way to get some of what we had hoped Crispus as the Spectre would have become following Infinite Crisis, and that, frankly, didn't execute.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-issue miniseries. It is in the shadow of Final Crisis. You don't have to read it to understand Final Crisis.
Right. But you have to read Final Crisis to understand it?
No, I think they'll all stand on their own. I think together, they build to a greater whole. But one of the smart things I think they're doing about Final Crisis this year is they're limiting those things that are feeding into it. There aren't that many things. So there's this, Revelation, which is sort of companion to Legion of Three Worlds.
Right.
And then I'm doing a 30-page one-shot called Final Crisis Resist, which is going to be written by Eric Troutman over there and myself. And if anybody's been paying attention, they can kind of guess what the heart of that resistance is going to be.
Right.
And that'll be groovy. And then there's other stuff coming out that I'm not allowed to talk about.
So how does the Crispus work as the Spectre? Was that something that you knew was going to happen when you ended the series?
Jeff and I had talked about it, and he had mentioned wanting to do it. And there were a number of good reasons for doing it, I thought. Good, strong, logical ones. I think, frankly, and I make no bones about this, I think the DCU's been white male for too long.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that, there's a place for the white males. Of course there is, but we live in a more diverse world, and we live in a world that acknowledges that diversity. Comics need to start reflecting that.
Yeah.
So, when Jeff proposed making theoretically the most powerful person in the DCU the black guy. I kind of dug that. My biggest regret to it was, and it was one since I knew he was going to die anyway, I went back and forth going, we've got a positive male African-American role model here, and he's going to die.
Right.
Defeats
the purpose.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of brought it back. As much as we talk about things like wanting to promote diversity, et cetera, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. What matters is the character a good character?
Right.
And it doesn't matter if, they're handicapped or blind or, can fly a plane backwards upside down in the middle of a hurricane. The question is, are they a good character? And Chris is a very good character. His execution as Spectre hasn't been flawless, so we're going to try to, one of the things we do in the mini is kind of address that. And we introduce a new concept that I've been wanting to introduce in the DCU.
And finally, Daredevil.
And questions in it, too.
Oh, well, you'd assume.
Yeah, well, come on, think about how cool that is.
Yeah.
You take the Spectre, right, who's literally like, I have God's power. And then you have the Question who's like, I punch you, and maybe you fall down, I love that juxtaposition.
And they've got such a complicated history.
And they've got a history, and she doesn't, the Spectre shows up, and she's going to be like, what?
Oh, she doesn't know about it.
No, how would she? Yeah. There's no way for her to know. So.
I thought they would talk around the superhero coffee
Yeah,
pot.
you know what? You're going to have a hard time convincing Renee that she's a superhero.
That's true. And finally, you're doing Daredevil with Rue Baker. You back together.
Yeah, some hack artist named Michael Larch or something like that.
The
Yeah,
Gotham Central thread that runs through everything.
Yes, that's it.
So how does that come about?
Ed calls me and says, "Joe, you're not exclusive anymore, right?" And I say, "I'm not exclusive, Ed. I haven't been exclusive for months." And he says, "So you want to co-write a Daredevil arc with me? I'm like dying here, man. I'm so on deadline. I got like Brevoort at my door with a shotgun. Could you help me out? It'd be great."
Does he actually write anymore? Because like every book he's got a co-writer now. Does he just sit there with plots and hand them out? How does that work?
No, he absolutely writes. It's Ed.
Yeah.
The greatest thing, he said, "You want to co-write this with me?" I said, "Sure, 4 issues. Why not?" Michael's going to draw it. He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, hell yeah."
Right.
I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Is there any trepidation to get back together with the team?
No, I mean, we always worked really, really well together, and I've missed them. I've missed working with both of them. There aren't many artists like Michael Lark in the industry, and I don't mean simply in terms of artistic style. He's really a gifted storyteller. He's really very, very smart. He is a guy who always brings something to the script. And Ed and I never really had any trouble at all when we were collaborating on Central. And it was kind of surprising how effortless this was. This was just like, oh, look, ta-da, we're at it again. Here's, which pages do you want? I'll take these pages. Do you want these pages? Sure, yeah, type, And
Excellent.
There you go.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Greg. Enjoy the rest of the con.
Man.
Thank you.
So it's Sunday, end of the day. We're out here in the Smokers Lounge. Con's winding down.
Yep, Seattle Con is in the books. Emerald City Con, actually. I shouldn't say Seattle Con.
Emerald City Comic Con.
We're excited to come out and enjoy the nice sunny atmosphere here in Seattle.
It's beautiful here. We're relocating.
It's kind of cold, actually, to be honest with you.
Nice.
But good time had by all. Fun times.
very good.
We're glad we came.
It was a great show. A lot of great people. I thought it was great how accessible all the creators were.
Yeah.
The Artist Alley was really packed, and it was a fun place to be.
A lot of big names, but a lot of very small con feel to it, which is good.
Very personal.
Yeah.
You get right up close to people.
I feel very close to you right now, Ron.
All right, so if you enjoyed the show, be sure to check out our other shows at revision3.com/iFanboy.
And check out iFanboy.com for all of your comics talk.
And if you have any questions about the Emerald City Con or any comments, or if we screwed anything up, you can email us at contact@ifanboy.com or call us on the voicemail at 1-888-FANBOYS. It's 1-888-326-2697.
Well, that's it. I'm going to go get back to my shift at Starbucks.
I know. I got band practice.
All right.
We have a gig.
See you next time.